Hi, this is Chris Stirewalt, or I'm Chris Stirewalt, and this is Power Play. And you are the internet. Hello, how are you? Thank you for stopping by. I continue to sweat through all of my garments here in Philadelphia as the Democrats have gathered to nominate Hillary Clinton, and then we'll have a roll call. It's all today. It's very exciting. But when it comes to the staging, the thematics, and by the way, the history-making part of a convention like this, part of it is about telling the story of what the Democratic Party is today. Somebody who helped write that story in the past and continues to do so is David Goodfriend. He is a delegate from the state of Maryland, full, alternate, regular, real.
Full delegate.
Full
delegate.
Elected
and everything.
He's got the nice credentials. He is a former Clinton administration aide where he served as the deputy staff secretary to Bill Clinton. And you're an adjunct professor at George Washington University School of Law.
Yeah, and Georgetown, too. I'm here
Double
to talk
dipping.
whatever you want to talk about.
Whatever you want. If I have some criminal issues, can you help me with that?
No, I really can't.
Pass.
But if you want to talk about tech or telecom policy,
you got it all.
Let's go.
All right, so Bill Clinton's going to talk tonight.
Yep.
And by the way, for those of you watching this tomorrow, we're taping this on Tuesday. So Bill Clinton's going to talk tonight. 4 years ago, he was Barack Obama's Secretary of Explaining Stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
And did a great job in Charlotte and came out and reframed Obama's vision for the country in a way that he was having trouble articulating. President Obama was having trouble talking about what he really wanted. Bill Clinton gave the speech. Everybody went, oh. This time, his role is different. What's his job do you see this time?
Well, he's got the same role that Michelle Obama had with respect to Barack Obama, or that Hillary Clinton had with respect to Bill when he was running. I mean, he's going to be the first spouse.
Yeah.
First man, I'm not sure how to call that. But obviously, as a former president with a lot of experience.
And a lot of ideas.
I think he's going to do a great job of it. If you look at the arc of his career, stopping being president is hard for anybody. I'm sure George W. Bush.
I don't know. He dropped that thing like a hot rock. I don't think he was.
That's a fair point. Well, I know for my former boss, it was a big transition.
Sure.
But I think what he was able to do was cast himself more as a statesman and a thought leader and an activist. You know, the Clinton Global Initiative has done more to prevent AIDS in Africa than just about any other organization.
Sure.
And I actually think that in his role as first man, that he would take that same sort of thought leader and activist in areas that his wife would say, look, this is your portfolio. Just like he did with her. He said to her, if you've got ideas on healthcare and you want to lead that, go ahead. I didn't turn out too well for her.
But he is in a different place within his party than he was 4 years ago. So I looked this up just today. 4 years ago, Bill Clinton had a 66% favorability rating. Today he has a 45% favorability rating. Now part of that is being back, as you say, in the political fray.
Right.
And then he went from being somebody who sort of transcended politics to being a guy whose wife was running for president. And by the way, can we get David a water?
Sorry. It's so hot here, I'm choking on my own.
If anybody has some water, guys.
I'm going to grab this one right here.
Perfect.
Whoever had this water before, I apologize. I'm about to drink it. Is that yours?
It's been part of that is easily attributed to the fact that he is seen as a more partisan life than he was 4 years ago.
Correct.
But some of it is, there's been, whether you think the stories were fair or not, the coverage of the last 2 and 3 years when we talk about the Clinton Global Initiative, the Family Foundation, Donald Trump and Rand Paul attacking him for the Lewinsky stuff and other things. It's been rough on him the last few years.
I actually have a different explanation.
Hit it.
I think Bill Clinton was the architect of centrism in the Democratic Party in the early 90s. The Democratic Leadership Council, the push after the '88 election, which Dukakis lost, to move the party more to the center. That was really Bill Clinton.
Big time.
If you look at the party today, the activism of the Bernie Sanders supporters and the fact that the Republican Party has moved further to the right kind of puts that centrism a little out of vogue with a lot of, especially young Democrats.
Right.
So he's left.
They don't remember. Those are young Democrats, by the way, who don't remember what it felt like to lose 3 presidential elections in a row.
Well, they've grown up with Barack Obama as president. They sort of figure this is how it's always been.
Right.
Look, my son voted for Bernie Sanders. Okay, he's 18 years old. I'm a Clinton supporter. I told him, you do what you want to do. I'm going to vote the way I'm going to vote. But I can tell you that Bill Clinton occupies a much different space in my son's sort of political arc.
Right.
Whereas when I was in my early 20s, I saw Bill Clinton sort of on the vanguard of interesting new thought. My son says, wait a second, the interesting new thought is coming from Bernie Sanders.
Right.
Right? So I think that Bill Clinton is less the party leader than he once was.
Sure.
It's a different party today. And by the way, I say this as someone who worked for Bill Clinton and likes him. I think that's a good thing.
Yeah.
I don't think any political party should remain stagnant, should use the same leadership that it had from 25 years ago. And frankly, I think that Hillary Clinton is perhaps even better positioned than her husband to navigate that realm between the hardcore progressives and the standard centrists. I think she has a little bit more of a variety in her viewpoints than her own husband did.
So Barack Obama has a job that Bill Clinton once did, which is to put into nomination his designated successor. For Bill Clinton, it was Al Gore in 2000. Where were the Democrats in 2000? What convention? Where was that? Republicans were here in Philly.
Denver's 04. I think it was Chicago.
Okay. So Bill Clinton has to go out to the stage.
96, I'm wrong about
Bill
that.
Clinton has to go out on stage.
L.A.
Oh, yes.
L.A.
Quite so.
Sorry, L.A. That took me that long to remember you.
So Bill Clinton has to go out on stage and say, it's Al Gore. What is Barack Obama in terms of, well, first starting with the basics.
Yeah.
What's his number one job going to be on Wednesday when he talks and puts Hillary Clinton out there? What's he trying to do?
Well, I think his job is very similar to the job that Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren and Keith Ellison had last night. I mean, it's to unify the party, make sure all of us are sort of aimed in one direction. Barack Obama can do that. Now, I will also say that many of the hardcore progressives are disappointed in Obama, didn't think he went far enough to the left.
Right.
But I think he can speak to the party, much as Michelle did last night, and say, these are the choices. We can either have somebody who stokes racial animosity and xenophobia and talks about building walls without any specifics, who's kind of a showman more than a leader, or we can have somebody...
Jill Stein you were talking about there?
I think I was talking about Donald Trump, but you can fill in the blanks.
All right, whatever you think.
And then he'll say, on the other hand, we have somebody who I've worked with. I mean, he really has. And the other thing that Michelle Obama pointed out in her speech that I think we'll hear again from President Obama, I hope we do, is that Hillary Clinton was defeated by Barack Obama.
Yes, she was.
And did not slink off and sulk. She became a team player and worked with him. I think he's going to speak to that because that's a character point.
Right.
What kind of person it takes to lay it all on the line, fight as hard as you can, lose, and then say, I will now work with you. I think that's a real character attribute that Americans in particular find appealing.
Part of his job is also to seal within the Democratic Party his legacy. You talked about Bill Clinton's legacy, the third way, the triangulation, that there is this space, and there we think about welfare reform, we think about tough on crime sentencing laws, we think about things that people didn't expect Democrats to do. Bill Clinton did.
NAFTA.
Now, oh my God, you shouldn't even say NAFTA. They'll come and get you. Are you kidding me? You have to hide out by the porta potties.
I'm a Clinton White House alumnus, and I'll tell you two things that I'm not proud of.
Okay.
I'm not proud of NAFTA, and I'm not proud of Graham Leach-Bliley, the bill that actually ended. It ended the Glass-Steagall separation.
You don't like NAFTA?
I don't think it's
been really successful.
For whom? I mean, I'm from Wisconsin originally, and I now am a delegate from Maryland, and I think that many of the promises that were made about working-class manufacturing jobs, like don't worry, you'll get retrained for something else.
Yeah, well, that never happened.
That had never
happened. That was a lie. That's some stuff people say.
I'm not proud of it.
Oh, okay.
So I do think that, look, we can talk about general the GDP,
arc of the economy, right?
The GDP went up, but some people benefited a lot more than others, and I have had to rethink my own views on trade as a result. I'm still someone who says free trade,
more free is better,
good, right? But let's not forget that the original free trade agreements grew out of post-World War II Europe, where France and Germany had a political motivation to stop fighting with each other.
Do you get the sense he's been thinking about this some?
I have been thinking about this.
Do you get any sense that he might have thought about this?
Well, but it means that the politics matter.
But how about this? Barack Obama is going to walk off that stage knowing that he has moved the party substantially left on issues that include NAFTA.
Well, no, I think he supports TPP, and he's got a room full of people saying we don't like TPP. That's a fact. Okay? But on these other issues, look at what he can point to. Where was the economy when I came into office, he'll say. We were losing 800,000 jobs a month. Now the U.S. auto industry has had its best year ever. We helped bail them out. We brought the stock market back. And then he'll talk about health reform. We've got millions of more people insured with health care than we did before. I mean, he will be able to say to this audience, think of where we were when George W. Bush left office, and think of where we are today. Ronald Reagan put it best. You know, ask yourself if you're better off. right? So you could look at 2007,
right,
2008. Am I better off than I was then? That's a key question.
We all know it's just going to be about Joe Biden. That's all anybody wants to hear. David, thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Internet, I've got to get out of here because if I don't, I may dehydrate.
A lot of sweat.
Literally dehydrate. But we thank you for stopping by, and we hope you'll come back for more Power Play real soon.